Welcome to Rack of the Week number 113. Wait, hey, where's my pool table? Oh yeah, I forgot. Everything's packed up. My house is empty. I'm getting ready. All my stuff's are packed up in a storage pod. I made an offer on a house and I'm getting ready to move to... there'll be a live stream on Monday. Tune in and we'll talk about it. The topic today, though, is Rack of the Week, and I missed the Rack of the Week for the first time last Sunday. And I mentioned it in number 112. I was busy packing up my house, and I just took a half an hour to make a real quick one. But this one will be more of a normal one, but I forgot. I was so busy. I worked like 9 or 10 days straight getting this house packed up. This week's Rack of the Week features Nick Vandenberg, and I call it Dutch Technician. I've just today been... The production facilities are not the way they usually are. I've only got one light. This side of my face is all dark. Bear with me. Things will get better. The Rack of the Week today is featuring Nick Vandenberg, who's making some high run attempts. He's trying to break the new world record, or at least break his own high run record. He's been playing for about 5 days, and I have not been able to watch any of it. And I just started watching some of it today, so we'll look at a rack from one of his runs today, and we'll probably, and this is a makeup Rack of the Week for the Sunday I missed, and 2 days from now I'll do Rack 114, and I might feature Nick again. I'm really enjoying watching him because he shoots a lot of shots that I would choose, and shoots them in the way that I would shoot them, but not this rack. Well, half and half this rack. I like this rack because it's unusual. You see the break shot in front of you, and it's an unusual break shot that doesn't come up too often, but when you're in a run, he's on a run of 154 right now, he wants to make something happen, so he's got an angle on this ball on the side. The announcers are talking about this. It's a tricky shot, and the reason why is you want to get some force into the rack. You're going to have to hit this one pretty hard, and that's going to be difficult to do because he's only got about 3 inches to follow through without double hitting the cue ball. So he's got to stroke hard and bring his cue to a halt real quick. And so it could end up being kind of a punchy stroke, but you want to shoot with follow to get the cue ball to go into the rack. The problem is when you hit it hard, let's see, the 90-degree tangent line from the ghost ball is something like this. So if you hit this really hard, the cue ball could follow the tangent line before it starts curving forward with the topspin, and you'll just miss the rack completely. So it's a hard shot. And in fact, the announcers were talking about it might be better to go ahead and shoot with low, with inside English, with right English, and bring the cue ball down here with right English to spin it up into here. The problem is you're not going to get the rack very wide open there. Nick does shoot this with a follow, and if you look, he's starting to address the cue ball. He does have right English on it, but he's trying to hit the edge of the rack, and he gets a very good result. He's using inside English, which is going to make the cue ball go forward of the tangent line a little bit more because you're cutting the break ball a little bit thinner. Watch this result. So he hit that corner ball with a lot of force. You see the cue ball kind of stuttered, and then it went forward. Now he shoots the same shot that I would shoot here. He wants to get position on the 6 ball. So he's using this 2 ball, I believe, to draw back, to get a low angle on the 6 to go up into these balls, and then the 10 is an insurance ball back that way. They're going to switch the camera angle a lot, which I like. I like going from the side, different side angles to the overhead, and hopefully for most of these you can see the result. Now that was Nick's first, oh great, so we got an overhead view. That was his first re-break shot. And I say first because I would go to a re-break shot again right away. The 10 ball was his insurance ball on that re-break. He's made a possible break ball here, but it's pretty low. More likely he's going to nudge one of these balls into break ball position. But what I see right now is I'm going to tap the 10 ball in, and I want the cue ball to go forward and stay low on this ball. So here's the shot line. As long as you stay below the shot line, you can shoot this, I think it's a 1 ball, and send the cue ball up here. And I'm hopefully going to nudge the 14 over for a break shot. And then from the cue ball will stop there. You'll have a shot on the 3 next, or this ball, or possibly the 9 ball in the corner of the side. So I think it's a real safe shot, and that's what I would shoot. But Nick has other thoughts. He has already shot 1 rebreak, and the balls are loose enough for him, and he's going to pick them apart from here without running into any balls. That's a good opportunity too, or that's a good decision as well, and possibly better than mine. So he's playing the cue ball, the same shot, but the cue ball all the way up here. Now I think he was trying to stop short of these balls, but maybe not. Maybe he's removing this ball because it's a blocker ball for both of these into this pocket. So once the 15's gone, yeah, this is a good place for me to pause this. Once the 15 ball is gone, he can play position over here because both of these balls go in that pocket. And then you'll be able to follow the cue ball forward and nudge this ball over into break ball position. And then you'll have the 3 ball back this way, the 11 ball into the side as key balls. I think I like what he's doing better. In other words, picking them apart versus reopening balls when he already had 1 rebreak shot. I don't know. It's a close call. But so he's taking, you can see him taking a little bit of time here to decide what his pattern is. Now again, he has an opportunity to bring down the cue ball down here and get that low angle on the 1. But he doesn't do that. He stays above the shot line. Don't remember what he does here. I think does he bring the cue ball forward? See, you could even bring the cue ball forward into those balls now, but that's harder to predict than if the cue ball stopped here and you can go directly into those balls rather than going off the rail. And you see he's looking again, so he really didn't have a firm plan in mind. Oh yeah, so he spins the ball all the way around. So when you're not sure, that was, bring the cue ball to center table, which is what he did. I think in that instance, with the angle he had, I would have brought the cue ball to here. And the reason why is you've got all kinds of shots. You might get an angle on one of these balls to nudge the 5 over, as I just mentioned. You might get a different angle. You might be, let's say, up here. And then you can shoot this ball in the side pocket and nudge this ball. You've still got insurance balls with this ball in the side or the 9 ball back this way. If you came shorter, the cue ball came down here, you could play the 3 ball or the 11 to maneuver for that shot. I think you had just tons of options from this zone. That's where I would have played the cue ball. But Nick's on a run of 154 and my high run is 137, so let's trust what he's doing. So again, not a firm plan because he just played to center table and now he's studying to make a decision. And from this angle, it looks like what he's looking at is the 3 ball, shooting the 3 ball to get the cue ball back to that exact zone that I'm talking about. And there's 2 ways to do that. You can tell he's got a very slight cut on this 3 ball. So one way to do it is a high ball with a little bit of right English and just bring the cue ball straight up. The other way to do it is with inside English. And so you're going to be using a lot of left English. The cue ball will hit this rail and come out of the corner like this. And I prefer that. I think it's easier to control the speed. If you look at the shot line for the 11 into the side, you're coming at the zone for that position. And so as long as you play that zone, you're also getting position for these balls into the corner pocket. And you can maybe nudge this ball over, as I've mentioned a couple times already. Instead, Nick chooses the high right or maybe just a little bit high route. He's starting to run out of balls. And if you look at it, he's got 2 perimeter balls, which is okay. They're not really on the rail, but they're close to the perimeter. And then he's working through these balls to develop a pattern, but he doesn't have a break ball yet. Now he came up too high to nudge this ball over. He's looking at the combination now. If you don't have to shoot this combination, if there's another route, which there is, I wouldn't shoot it. There's no way. combinations are, in my book, are always a recovery shot when your pattern isn't working well, unless if they're just really dead, which, yeah, this looks like it might be pretty close to dead. So his plan now, which I think is a tough shot, tougher than he needed to have, is to shoot that ball while he's elevated over this ball, and he had to use some inside English to bring the cue ball back. But now he's going to shoot the combination. Yeah, he's sighting it right now. He knows when he shoots this combination that the strike ball at the head is going to move over here and create a break shot. And actually what he was sighting is the exact position that he needed the cue ball in to do just that. And that's what he was sighting on this ball in the upper corner pocket. Now he's going to make a break ball. The combination is just slightly off, that the top ball is going to come over for a break shot. And I think does he keep the cue ball there, or does he roll forward? Yeah, just rolls forward a little bit, which I think he made a little bit of trouble there. Let's pause. He was probably trying to get straight in on this ball in the side pocket, and that's what he's going to shoot anyway. I think I would have liked to stop the cue ball here, because then you have more options on both of these balls. I wouldn't have wanted the cue ball to roll forward, but he got perfect for a break ball. But what I mentioned happened, and that is he had to deal with these balls in the center of the table, and so now he has two perimeter balls, which kind of cause a little bit of trouble. Not a lot, but a little bit. I just now noticed that my light went off again. Sorry, guys. I'm going to let that go because I don't want to repeat what I just said. But this is a great angle to look. He's played the rack very well. But look, there's only 4 shots left. He's dealt with, every shot was strategic. I call this a Dutch technician. He was dealing with issues and he did very well. But this is a tough end pattern. This isn't real natural. You kind of think that either this 7 ball or one of these 2 stripes are going to want to be your key ball in some fashion. The 7 ball is real standard, because if you get, there's the shot line of the pocket. If you get any kind of angle in here, not too steep of an angle, it's very easy to bounce the cue ball out for a really good break shot position. So that'd be my favorite, unless if you get some kind of shot that's very natural, such as the 9 ball on the side with the cue ball here, then it's very natural to just stun over. So in other words, minimal cue ball movement. But this 8 ball is the problem. And Nick studies this for quite a while. In fact, I might as well let this play, because he's going to really think about this a lot before he shoots it, and I can't blame him. The 8 ball is the issue because it doesn't really lead to anything too naturally. And you've got to get on that 8 ball. You don't want to... What's really easy now is to shoot the 11. Well, let me change my arrow. What's easy... You're going to shoot the 11 anyway. What's easy now is to shoot the 11, come over here for the 9 in the side, and then just follow forward for the 8. But then you've got to get the right angle on the 8 to bounce over and come over here and get the right angle on the 7. A lot of key ball movement for your K2 and key ball, or your K3 and key ball. So instead, he does this. What a great shot. And that's recognizing the need to transition, and I'm going to pause it here because this is important. That's recognizing the need to get into a better pattern. Now, everything's natural. You shoot the 8, you bounce off. Come on, light, just stay on. Why don't you just stay on? And you stay low on the 9, and then you just slide up here for the 7. Now, that's a good end pattern. Those are more controllable. And even if he came too far and got straight in on the 8, that's okay. If the cue ball stopped here and he had this angle, it would be a little more difficult, but he could still handle it. The other option when shooting that 11 would be to stun the cue ball to the bottom rail and straight up. And I like that route because it's hard to judge the speed. And if you hit it too soft, well, then you still have a shot on the 9. But if you hit it with good speed or even too hard, then you have your shot on the 8. Can't argue with the results, though. And now it's pretty natural. He has a little bit more angle than he wants. So you look at him making a good decision. He's taking his time. So what he's going to... I would roll this in softly. Now, he just went over and looked. at the shot line. The shot line on the 9 is here, and he wants to stay below it. And he does something that I wouldn't have done. Look how firm he hit that. That was a center ball with left English to kill the cue ball's speed and keep it below the shot line, because he didn't want to slow roll that ball. And he stayed under the shot line just enough to bring the cue ball over here for the 7. So great job. Good speed control. This is natural. This is almost a perfect angle. And I'm choosing those words carefully because my next instructional video that I hope is going to be coming out next week is called The Perfect Angle, and you'll see why. So great result. Notice that if the ghost ball's here, the parallel line is there. Now they changed the view. Parallel line's here. He's well inside that parallel line, and that's what you want. You want that good inside angle so that you just cut this with a high ball, and the cue ball is going to hit the rack and go to the bottom rail and back up. It might even go back up and re-break the rack. I'm going to let this play because another reason why, look at him sight the exact part of the rack that he thinks the cue ball is going to hit from ghost ball position. A lot of the European players do this much more often than American players. I think it's an excellent habit. So he's making a real good determination of where he's going to hit the rack and where he wants the cue ball to go. I would anticipate to see just a high ball and maybe even right English. Old school players and a lot of players today might even hit it a little bit softer with left English, inside English, to bring the cue ball 2 rails to center table. But being that he's hitting it this thin, that might be a good option. But it looks like he's just going on, straight high ball. So straight high ball means instead of the cue ball turning out of the corner and coming to center table, it comes straight up. And the danger with that is if you hit the speed wrong, your cue ball comes way up here, and you just have a really tough shot. And even though his cue ball didn't go all the way up table, he's in a tough spot, and the run actually ends right here. And I'm going to speed this up, but I'll show you why. And this is a tough shot. He cannot quite see past the 15 to make the 2-5 combination. It's really frustrating that you got a ball hanging in the jaws and you don't have a shot. And the announcers are talking about he's got to suck it up and cut the 7 ball. And they're not wrong. That's, for a good player like Nick, that's a good high percentage shot. And sometimes you've got to make that tough shot after the, I don't know why that light keeps shutting off, after the break shot. His other option is a thin cut on the 15 in the side. And on that one, it's just a little bit backwards. If the 15 was here, it'd be much easier. And the cue ball is going to go into these balls, I think, unlikely to scratch. In both of those shots, the cue ball's hitting these balls this way, and you're pushing balls towards balls that are already open. So he's kind of reluctant to do that, and I can't blame him. He sights the 2 ball more than once because he'd really like to shoot that. And what Nick finally ends up doing is shooting the 14, but he barely has enough room. He's got to overcut it so the 14 hits the point and then makes the 5. And because it's such a difficult shot from this position, he hits the 1 and misses the shot. And the announcers are talking about the fact, and I agree with the announcers, that the correct shot here, or I think the best shot here, is to carom the cue ball off the edge of this pink into the 5. And the reason why he's probably reluctant to do that is because if you hit it badly, the cue ball can follow the 5 in, or it can replace the 5 right inside that point, and then you've got another tough shot to come with. But I think that's an easier option than when he tried. What you want to do is hit this carom shot into the point so that the cue ball hits the 5 and comes up. Because from up here, you're going to have a shot at this ball or one of these balls in the side pocket. And if the cue ball even comes up farther, you can have a shot on the 3. So I think it's the right decision. You're not risking tying up balls. Yeah, you're risking scratching, you're not getting a shot, but you've got a really tough shot here and you've got to go for something. Let me see if I can advance this to where he shoots. So here he's sighting on the 2 ball and he gets back up because can't quite see enough of that 2-ball. So when you look at it from this angle, look at it from that angle. You got to shoot the carom. I think it's a very high percentage shot. You know, you can also hit this too thin, hit the rail, and miss the 5 completely. But knowing those things, man, just take a good sight at it, and you just got to go for it. But now he's looking at the 14, and I think he just wasn't quite committed to making this 14. I feel bad showing the shot because Nick misses, and he ran over 200 balls. Yeah, I think he ran 238, and I haven't checked yet. I'm not sure what his high run was during this 5 days of attempts, but it may have been over 300. I'm not sure. And you can tell by his stroke, it just wasn't committed. He kind of swoops the cue a little bit. Yeah, and hit that ball and missed, so that was the end of the run. Anyway, but despite the miss at the end, I think that was an excellent run by Nick Vandenberg, and that was a really good clutch rack, difficult rack with some good lessons in it by the Dutch technician. I wonder does he have a regular nickname? I'm going to look that up, and if he does, I'll mention it next week. Next week's Rack of the Week, which will be in 2 days on Sunday. Thank you for watching. Tune in Monday. Is it the 15th, I believe? Live stream at 5 o'clock. I'm going to talk about my move and what's going to happen with the channel and all that stuff. Thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye.